Thank you, Ruben, for that wonderful Mother's Day treat. Good morning. I'm Stephanie Whalen, a member of your Board of Trustees. The pronouns I use for myself are she and hers. My husband Mike and I joined UCW about 6 years ago when political norms started to decline, and we felt the need to find like-minded people to try to make positive change. And what we found here are some of the nicest and most compassionate people we could ever hope to find. I'm also chair of the ROC 19 task force. I have a few announcements. We're delighted to see all of you in person. By the way, hello to all of you watching online. A couple announcements. Enter a joy or concern using your phone and the QR code included in your order of service. You can also write them on a green sheet, as always, and give it to an usher, or you can email Reverend Denise directly. If you're newer here, please drop us an email and tell us a bit about yourself. We would love to hear what you are seeking. Please either fill out the green form and/or email at visitor@uucw.org. Again, that is visitor.uucw.org. We'd love to connect with you. As a board member, I have an important announcement. We are facing a budget deficit this year, the 2021-22 fiscal year, but we are not sure by how much yet. We are also $170,000 short of next year's 22-23 budget. If you recall, that was the budget to bring staff up to fair pay rates, to pay for building maintenance, and to address long overdue needs. Our board is delaying the approval of next year's budget until the board meeting on May 26th in efforts to re-engage with more than 100 members who have not pledged nor been in contact. A lack of connection with members is one of the many COVID challenges. We must all work together to re-engage the 144 folks on our rolls that have not responded to us in 2 years. We need to work together to hold community gatherings, to invite back old friends, and to give generously. In the past, it has taken approximately 220 pledges to make our budget. We are at 168 this year. Although our average pledge has increased by 20%, hooray, and more than 90 of us have raised our pledges, thank you, we are below budget because many members have not pledged yet or don't know we are open again. For the 42 folks that kept their pledge level the same over several years, please consider increasing it. Thank you to everyone who has been calling and texting to re-engage folks. Every pledge does count with this budget, and our delaying the approval of the budget is an attempt to increase our funding to help reduce the number of cuts that we need to make. The budget will be available for you to review after the board meeting on May 26th for those that would like to see it before the annual meeting. If you have ideas for generosity that we have not yet explored, please talk to me after service. One more announcement. Our ROC task force has been monitoring the steadily rising COVID rates in the Milwaukee and Waukesha counties, and we're advising that masks continue to be worn at all times in the building. We had been saying, outside of the sanctuary, okay to take them off. However, we didn't want to cancel coffee hour, so we are asking, please just keep them on. Remove them between sips, but then replace them. Thank you for your understanding and cooperation.
Thank you, Stephanie. Today we celebrate Mother's Day and the act of nurturing. And nurturing can be learned and done by anyone. It is never too late to nurture. Others may feel a thorny relationship with mothers or mothering. Ideally, mothering is nurturing. And if your mother was not, you deserved more. I am sorry, and I see you. If your relationship with your children or not having children or anything about nurturing was not what you hoped, we hold that complexity today. Considering that safe, legal, and more affordable local abortions is going away very soon here in Wisconsin, I know I feel even more complexed about forced mothering than I ever have. If you want to share any stories with me about your feelings about abortion or related rights we are likely to lose, please contact me. I would like to weave your stories into the May 22nd service, even if anonymously. My colleague, Reverend Taryn Strauss, shared this opening welcome to worship. Do you know what mothering is? Beyond gender, beyond bringing life, beyond feeding and cherishing tender, fragile forms of life's beginning, beyond dusting off a scrape and applying balm, beyond calling the school and advocating for the safest, most liberating learning, beyond staying up and keeping vigil, beyond driving the car in traffic to rush someone to their most beloved, most fleeting interest, beyond demanding an end to all wars, violence, and shooting that always kills the precious children of mothers, beyond scraping together the reserves of courage to send off her precious heart into places where either learning or growth or bullies or bullets could all happen. It's living for someone else beyond the self. Motherhood is the holiest prayer, a purpose beyond the self wholly undertaken with all that might. So give all the flowers in the world, arrange the breakfast tray just so, write the love letters, praise your mother's name, curse or forgive the mother who could not make the vow stick. Bless the pregnant person who released their baby into the dreamscape, who chose life in service to a different purpose. Perhaps that person had a mother who fought for them to be safe and to control their own body, like any mother would. Mothering is limitless. We can all mother each other. Praying to the great God, Mama, we can hardly find the word nor acts of devotion to compare someone who lived entirely for us beyond the self. What you can do is mother someone else while loving yourself well. Continue the vow to someone beyond the self, the acts of daily devotion. Nurture something growing. Heal someone who is not well. Liberate someone who needs to get free. Speak out for those who have no voice. Make peace somehow, somewhere. That's what your mother would have wanted. Join us now for hymn 357, Bright Morning Stars.
Bright morning stars are rising, bright morning stars are rising, bright morning stars are rising. Day is a breaking in my soul. Oh, where are our dear mothers? Oh, where are our dear mothers? Oh, where are our dear mothers? Day is a breaking in my soul. They are sowing seeds of gladness. They are sowing seeds of gladness. soul.
Okay, thank you. All right, and I just lost my light. If you're joining us at home, please feel free to kindle your chalice or candle. Please join me in enthusiastically reciting our chalice words, why we're here. Here today, in this place, and with these people, may we listen so that we can hear. May we hear so that we can feel. May we feel so that we can know. And may we know so that we can change ourselves and this world. May this chalice we light our way.
Good morning. I'm Dave Cicero, Director of Lifespan Religious Education here at Unitarian Universalist Church West. My pronouns are he and his. The bridging ceremony allows us to celebrate the transition of our high school seniors in our community into young adulthood. We let our graduating seniors know that we notice them, that we appreciate them, and that we give them our blessing as they move out into the wider world that comes after high school. Bridging is a rite of passage designed to welcome these bright and energetic people into the rewards and responsibilities of adult life, including a formal welcome into the adult life of our church. We're proud and glad that these creative and accomplished young people have spent time in our religious education program. We have learned and grown as a church because of their participation among us and because of the gifts and talents that they have shared in serving, nurturing this congregation and the wider community. So I'd like to introduce to you Carter Schulich, child of Lisa Becker and Scott Schulich, sibling of Jack and Izzy. Carter's family has been part of UUCW since 2013. Not able to be with us today is Dylan Berner, child of Catherine and Adam Berner, sibling of Adam. The Berners have been part of UUCW since 2006. Soon after that, Dylan was formally dedicated as a child here in the UU tradition. Lily Stewart is the child of Melinda and David Stewart, sibling of Charles. The Stewarts have been part of UUCW since 2011. Lily's mother, Melinda, is here today to accept Lily's gifts from the congregation and will share Lily's plans and memories of UUCW in a few moments.
In recognizing you, we acknowledge you have the opportunity now to take on a new, more mature role in the wider community as well as here. If you choose, you can sign our membership book. You can also take part in leadership roles, and wherever you may go, you could do that too. There's no reason why you can't join a UU church wherever life leads you. And I encourage you to, because the early years of adulthood are challenging, and those who are willing to ask for help and seek pastoral care will do better. So never forget, we're here for you too. It doesn't end now. Know that this is your church, and it's time for us to also listen to your ideas more fully.
To celebrate your time here at UUCW so far, we have a few gifts for you. The first is a book called Becoming, which is a handbook of sorts. Stories and quotes to guide you through your life, reminded of the UU values that you have developed. We hope that this gift will also remind you of your home church. While we encourage you to get involved, as Reverend Denise just said, in a congregation wherever you find yourself, often you will need support in early adulthood. And remember that we are always here for you. The second gift we have for you today is a candle and a candle holder. All of us who are adults have made the transition across that invisible bridge from adolescence to young adulthood. Being an adult brings many changes, and the adult path can be full of shadows and struggles. May this gift remind you that your UU faith can help light your way. And we encourage you to share the light of your own personality with the new communities that you enter.
Finally, we have a gift of a rose. When we hold our child's dedication ceremonies, we give each child a budding rose as a symbol of their lives growing and unfolding. And we remove the thorns on those roses that we often hand to babies, but sometimes to much older children. We know your lives are still growing and unfolding. We have not removed the thorns on these roses because we know that as you negotiate adulthood, there will be times when life is thorny, and we and your community and your family won't always be there to protect you. These roses are a symbol of our faith in you. We know you have what it takes to navigate life's challenges, and part of that is asking for help. Thus, we want you to know pastoral care is always here for you, here, even by phone or Zoom, wherever you are. Just ask for help. You'll learn today about how a listening ear can really assist with that. And Dave, he's going to give you a rose, but we want you to know that while you are growing, we are not abandoning you. May all the gifts that we give you remind you of how proud we are of you, how proud this congregation is. More than anything, we want you to continue to engage your faith journey. And we want you to tell us what you think and how we should lead. We need to hear from you. So, you get 5 minutes at the beginning of each board meeting, you pop in, all right? You tell us what's going on with you, and know that that we love you.
So now that our young adults we are celebrating today will hear what their graduation plans are and their what they will carry with them from their own experiences here in our community. So Dylan Berner will soon graduate from New Berlin Eisenhower High School. In the fall, will attend UW La Crosse, where he plans to major in business and would like to do something with sports marketing. He shared that in 2019, when he went with his brother, dad, and other members of UUCW to the Dominican Republic to help build housing, he says, in only 5 days, we worked without any power tools or electricity with people from the village of La Guma to build a house for a woman, Minerva, who had just lost her husband. With only a limited knowledge of Spanish, Dylan was still able to find a way to communicate with the kids and adults in the community, and will never forget how happy Minerva and her family were when they saw the finished house that he had helped build for her with this congregation's help. It made him feel really good to help make her dream happen.
My daughter Lily is graduating from Whitnell High School in June. She's planning to go to UW Stevens Point and study family and consumer science education, and she loved her time here. She appreciated RE and feels that it helped make her more open-minded and appreciative of other cultures and ideas.
Hi, I'm Carter. This June, I will be graduating from Brookfield East High School, and in the fall, I will be attending UW-Madison, and I will be studying astronomy and physics. One of my most important takeaways from my time here at UCW, through religious education and YRU and the OWL program and going through neighboring faiths, has given me a really newfound sense of appreciation for my own spirituality. And how we all are connected in an overarching, interconnected web of life, and I've really, really appreciated that.
So Carter, walking across this bridge symbolizes the journey into adulthood that you've already begun. When on the other side, the congregation will welcome you into their midst by joining with me in the response that's printed in their order of service.
Come on down.
And we'll read to you, if you could stand up there just for another moment, please. As you go forth, we celebrate with you. We are proud of what you have done, but are glad for who you are. Take your Unitarian Universalist faith with you, and remember, we will always be here to welcome you home. We offer you our love, support, and congratulations.
Woo!
And now the children and youth who are with us in person will take leave of us to head to their religious education classes. We'll meet outside the entry to the sanctuary there before we head downstairs, and we will sing them out with our children's recessional. As you go, may joy surround you. As you go, go in peace. Know our love is with you always. As you go, as you go.
I will share this meditation with you, and then I will ring the chime, and then I will give you your moment of silence for your own meditation, and then I will ring the chime again, and when you can't hear the sound anymore, our meditation is over. Chaplains, ministers, and pastoral leaders show up for you in difficult times. Yet we can all learn to be pastoral. Our lay pastoral care team is wonderful at that too. Use them. We can all learn how to be a gift of presence to one another, continuing to show up. We show up to hold hands when you get the news that you have both been wanting and dreading. We show up to stand in those liminal in-between spaces with you that are void of clarity and pregnant with possibilities. We show up as you gather the shards and shreds of your past relationships and then relapse for the 5th time. We show up at the bedside for the beauty and the poignancy of dying and living side by side in communities of care. We will continue to show up because what we care about is your search for meaning, truth, and healing. Amen. Today, someone who wears many, many hats in this congregation, Kathy Bradshaw, is our chair of the worship ministry team, as well as many other teams. And she's going to help me out with this reading or litany to lead into what we're doing.
Well, I don't have anything to say.
Well, I do, but it might not be that interesting to anyone.
I have secrets inside of me and struggles, and I just don't know if I'm ready to share.
I understand, but I'm ready to hear them.
I want to speak, but of the deepest things inside of me.
I really want to hear what you dream about, what you hope for. I want to know how you have come to arrive at this resting point along your journey.
What if I speak and you don't understand me?
I will listen and listen again until my hearing becomes understanding.
What if I can't find the words to share the world inside of me?
I believe that the words will emerge for you, and if they don't, we can just sit alongside one another.
How can I trust you to hold my life stories? You, who I might even not know.
By knowing that I received part of your story, I will give you part of mine.
How will this work? What will happen? What awaits us?
We can find out anything by beginning.
Let us begin to listen and trust and to know one another more deeply.
Join us for hymn number 91, Mother of All.
Mother of all, in every age, in every clime adored, by saint, by poet, and by sage, your praises high have soared. Goddess of nurture and of love, all nature sings your care. In life's extravagance you prove the gift of giving fair. O Spirit of unfolding grace and deepest mystery, teach us compassion's gentle face
When we all returned to having in-person services, everybody talked a lot longer. Me, every worship associate, every board, everybody, like it was like, whoa, people. It was so surprising. And so the first few services were longer than we intended, and people just, it just was what it was, right? This is part of living in different times, is learning that. So I've been trying to be really conscious of the length of all services, and I keep cutting and cutting and cutting my stuff and trying to cut other people's stuff. And so today I was so worried because there's so many components that I skipped the choir video. So we're going to have that now.
Roots and wings are precious things. It's all I have, it's all you need. One day you'll fly and wave goodbye. I give you roots and wings, a place to grow safe and strong, where I will always be. And when it's time to try your wings, I will set you free. Roots and wings are precious things. It's all I have, it's all you need. One day you'll fly and wave goodbye. I give you roots and wings. Fly Roots and wings are precious things. It's all I have, it's all you need. One day you'll fly and wave goodbye. I give you roots and wings. Fly, fly away.
Thank you. And now this next video is the start of our sermon.
It's just, there's all this pressure, you know? And sometimes it feels like it's right up on me, and I can just feel it, like literally feel it in my head, and it's relentless. And I don't know if it's gonna stop. I mean, that's the thing that scares me the most, is that I don't know if it's ever gonna stop.
Yeah. Well, you do have a nail in your head.
It is not about the nail.
Are you sure? Because, I mean, I'll bet if we got that out of there...
Stop trying to fix it.
No, I'm not trying to fix it. I'm just pointing out that maybe the nail is causing...
You always do this. You always try to fix things when what I really need is for you to just listen.
See, I don't think that is what you need. I think what you need is to get the nail
See,
out.
you're not even listening now.
Okay, fine. I will listen. Fine.
It's just, sometimes it's like, there's this achy, I don't know what it is. And I'm not sleeping very well at all. And all my sweaters are snagged. I mean, all of them.
Yeah, that sounds really hard.
It is. Thank you. Ow!
Oh, come on. Ow. If you would just...
Don't.
You got it? You got it? In this film, the woman clearly wants some nurturing, listening, and understanding. Have you ever felt like either of those people? Have you ever had a conversation where you really just want to vent to someone and they, on the other hand, seem intent on solving your problem? Of course you have. We all have. Maybe you've even been the problem solver. The end result is frustration on both sides of the conversation, and everyone leaves feeling dissatisfied with what has transpired. Now, on any day celebrating parents, it is one to examine how to nurture. This service came as a request of the worship team, who shared that many have been wondering to them how to be more pastoral to each other. So these are nurturing skills we can all learn, and they are all basics of pastoral care. Curiosity, observation, listening, and compassion, they're all keys to nurturing. Don't solve. Observe. Then inquire if what you are observing is the same as the person's view of the situation. In doing chaplaincy, I always look at each member of the party and try to ascertain what was going on. Especially when doing chaplaincy in a clinical setting and you just open the door and you have no idea what you're going to come to. It's become a little game I silently am playing. Who are the players? How are they experiencing the situation? I often gained insights, but I want to tell you, the truth was more often than not so much more complex than I first guessed. The nurturer asks questions. How are you feeling? Tell me, what do you think is happening? What is this experience like for you? Tell me, who is here with you? How do you know them? As you inquire, be a non-anxious presence, showing up calm, emotionally present, free from anxiety, engenders trust. It provides the right kind of care in any crisis. Some wonder how I handle people who are suicidal, which has sadly been a lot more common since pandemic. I remain incredibly calm. In fact, the bigger the crisis, the calmer I get. My calm helps them, and I need to show up non-anxious. My presence is my first gift in any helping situation. Healthy nurturing, I'm going to say that again, healthy nurturing can be someone who sits in silence alongside another. Often I will breathe in through my nose and out through my mouth with a loved one. Come on now, breathe with me, in through your nose, out through your mouth. 10 times now, I'll tell them. Yep, we're going to keep doing it, I'll say. I do this with anyone having an anxiety attack or having trouble finding their words. Or maybe it's sending a letter or a card. Perhaps I make a gift of a meal. High quality nurturing is matching the needs of the person to their present needs, and permission is seeking that appropriate action. Would you like me to bring you a meal? It's me offering the thing, because so often people will say, oh, just let me know how I can help. But we all know that moment when you need help is sometimes the hardest to come up with what it is that could help. Offer some things. Would this or this or this be helpful to you? When would it be helpful? Listen in love. No matter what turn a crisis takes, one of the most enduring and powerful gifts we can offer is to listen. By listening, we embody love of the sacred, the love of a wider community, and the love of love itself. Compassionate listening is exactly what people need when they are faced with overwhelming, uncontrollable circumstances of a crisis. I want to add, too, it doesn't matter the person's age. Little people need this, elders need this. The people who you think have it all figured out need this. Empathetic listening is finding out what really matters to the other person, whether you agree or not. The problem may seem obvious to the listener, as is the nail in this video, but understanding what they think is happening is really important. I know a mistake I continually work at not doing is naming how the other person feels for them. Oh, that must be frustrating. Nope. Instead, I see your tears. Tell me what's behind the tears. If I simply said, you are hurting because you have a nail in your head, I would have assumed they wanted me to solve their problem and irritated both of us. The story under the nail was pain and hurt. It was not the nail. It was not the nail. Often the most accurate looking situation from the outside is not what they are ready to discuss. Sometimes there is another deeper situation. What could be bigger than the nail in the head, you're thinking? Maybe someone put the nail in their head. Maybe she is being harmed. Maybe she puts a new nail in her head every day. The story might be so different. The person in this video, as well as most folks you are called on to nurture, are not looking for a solution to the problem. I can't tell you how many times I hear pastoral stories about people who tried to solve somebody else's problem and they no longer have communication with them. They are looking for a supportive ear to listen to the issues. They are looking for that ear without judgment. Are you a safe person to vent to? They're looking for their feelings to be validated. To be nurturing is to give emotional support, and the woman in this video needs to get her feelings out. Furthermore, by pushing the issue, he is actually pushing her into a defensive stance. Listening can be very nurturing. We can also nurture by giving our presence. We do not have to know how to solve something. We can even ask, would you like to be listened to? Or would you like help brainstorming solutions? They might want that, but again, the permission changes everything. What she was looking for in this video was witness of her feelings. I'd even go so far to say as I bet he missed the story under the story. That's where the true pain lies. How did the nail get there? Does she know there's a nail there? This is an example of something psychologists refer to as the righting reflex. The reflective action is to try to help another person by providing solutions to their problems, even if the party isn't looking for solutions or they aren't ready to accept a solution or a resolution. I will tell you that 99% of ministry is holding on to the solution until people want it. Honestly, my own mom might have done the fixing hundreds of times. Hi, Mom. She's out there. Maybe you had a mom or have been a parent or a friend who's run down a list of solutions, something the other person doesn't even feel is the issue, or they're just not ready. They can't even hear it right now. And I go back to my other saying that I've said to you all before. What's your goal? Do you want to be right? Do you want to be right? Or do you want to be in relationship? I know I've done that list of solutions before. I've jumped in with my own agenda rather than nurturing. Now you might be thinking, if I don't tell them now what to do, how will they get through life? They need me. Raise your hand if you love having other people tell you what to do. Look around the room right now. While the righting reflex often comes from a caring place and a loving place, the end result is that it can push someone away from actually making a change in the situation being discussed. You don't have to even be a teenager to want to spite the person coming at you with their good advice. Even look at that last scene of the video when it's obvious, even more painfully obvious that is, that the nail is the problem when the man was starting to say it. She turned away in frustration and was refusing to either hear or acknowledge the issue. She's not ready to do something about the nail. Mentioning it only serves to push her away from addressing the nail at all. In her mind, the problem is likely to become his obsession with the nail, or the way he talks to her when she clearly just wants him to listen to her. The nail becomes his problem, not hers. I know I have never done something like that. To be nurturing is sometimes a lot more simple than we think it possibly could be. Demonstrating that you heard and understood them. Sure, it is awful when you feel pressure. That's horrible that you're experiencing pain. Thank you for sharing that with me. Now, if you don't solve for the other person that you want to nurture, what will happen? Do you trust them? Do you really trust them to solve their own problem? I'll tell you what will happen in every single instance if you allow them to figure it out. It's a B word. Boundaries will happen. You will be able to differentiate yourself and your responsibilities from them and themselves. In fact, having a clear identity separate from the person you want to nurture is loving. You can also say, I'm not sure how to help, but I will be with you throughout this pain you are in if you want me to be. Or I can leave you some space and check in with you from time to time. What would help? You can ask, would it be helpful if I held your hand or just sat here with you? Leave space for the answer to come. Or you can inquire, is there anything that would comfort you right now? And then do that thing, not something you wanted to do. Being nurturing means listening with your whole soul. It means opening your hands and your body language to be ready to take in what they're giving you. It means setting your phone and other distractions down, turn off the TV, hold their story with great care. When you are thinking about listening skills, think about the acronym OARS, like boat oars. Open-ended, questions and affirmations, reflections, and summaries. I said that like it was 5. It's supposed to be open-ended questions, affirmations, reflections, and summaries. One of each of these skills can help the other person feel more heard and even move them toward feeling comfortable to change. Ask open-ended questions that cannot be answered with a yes or no. Encourage the person to give more information. Lead them to be reflective of their own situation. Give them a chance to own their own solutions, which is so much more empowering. I know I love it when I'm at therapy or I'm talking to a friend and suddenly I solve my own problem. Talking it out helps me. Good nurturing also doesn't touch people who don't want to be touched, and I mean physical touch. Don't assume they want a hug or to touch their knee and pat it or to hold on to their arm. People holding trauma, even if it's decades-old trauma, especially need to feel empowered. Ask first. When I was a chaplain at Planned Parenthood, nothing was more clear to me than when I counseled folks who were struggling with how to handle a pregnancy that wasn't viable for any reason. I often really wanted to put my hand on the person's arm, but I always had to ask, would it be comforting if I held your hand or touched your arm? Some were very clear and rejected all touch. I had to recognize, too, I held power. If I would have touched them, they might not have told me that they didn't want the touch. Other people wanted hugs. They wanted to hold my hand. Every person was different, and I needed to honor their body and their autonomy. Because when you're revealing something deep, more than ever, consent is key. If none of this advice sounds like what you do, trust me, I hear you. I used to feel awkward trying on these pastoral nurturing behaviors. Nurturing certainly can be learned. So the line to not come up and tell me in the receiving line is, I can't do that, I wasn't raised that way. Me neither. Nurturing can be learned even if it is not how your parents treated you, even if it is different from how you parented, even if it is different from how your circle does it. This is an invitation to nurture in a new way, and if this is a muscle that you have not strengthened, it is your chance now to renew your skills or do something you already do better. Now you can look around the room and know that other people have heard this, so you can practice together. Muscles need repetition, they need exercise, and today as you go off and get calls from loved ones or visit those you care for, I challenge you not to fix or solve, but to witness and listen. I challenge you to create a boundary between what is yours to address and what is theirs to figure out. The funny thing about nurturing is that we can get an opportunity to love someone by putting them in charge. They're the one in pain, after all. They don't need you to do it for them. They need your support so they can solve it themselves. Nothing is more long-lasting in helping those you love to claim their own resilience. Blessed be your caring and nurturing. Blessed be.
UU Church West's Split the Plate program is one of outreach and generosity. Each month, we give half of all undesignated offerings to a nonprofit organization to help us live our Unitarian Universalist values and serve our community. Our Split the Plate partner for May is Pathfinders Milwaukee, which has been providing support and care for low-income youth with mental health needs since the mid-1970s. Here's a statistic that might surprise you. 1 in 6 youth aged 6 to 17 experiences a mental health condition. Pathfinders serves approximately 7,000 youth annually. Their mission is empowering youth, changing lives. Believing that housing is an essential tool for stability, Pathfinders begins by securing safe housing for young people in crisis as quickly as possible. Once housed, Pathfinders provides counseling programs for the sexually abused and assaulted, service centers for runaway youth, and guidance on educational and employment opportunities for those who have aged out of the foster care system. You may be wondering if Pathfinders continued to offer their services during the pandemic. Yes, they did. All of their programs remained open and no one was turned away. Pathfinders represents one of Wisconsin's oldest and most effective nonprofit organizations serving youth in crisis. Their low-barrier, innovative services support youth to find safety, hope, and healing. To support Pathfinders anytime this month, go to the UUCW website's Donate tab and select Split the Plate from the menu provided. Or you can text or mail your donation today using the information found here. Today, I thank you for your generosity to Pathfinders. The offering will now be gratefully received.
Thank you all for your offering. Thank you to everyone who made this service possible today. And thank you for nurturing one another.
Thanks, Stephanie. And if you have any questions about pledging or money, Stephanie can talk to you during the coffee hour. I see Lisa's here, Leslie's here. Are there any other? Oh, there's Pam. Any other board members here I missed? I know some of you have had questions for them, so you can talk to them today. Go now in peace. Deeply regard each other. Truly listen to each other. Speak what each of you must speak. Be ready in any moment to disarm your own heart, and always live as though the realm of love has already begun. So be it. Blessed be.